It's a sea of red for IT. Is it deserving decline in some of the IT stocks, or this is market reaction which is on the extreme after Infosys numbers?
I would go more towards the latter, that it is a big knee-jerk reaction to results that came out. But is it that is that showing that there's going to be some secular disaster in IT? I don't think so. I mean, what I think this is showing is that yes, there is there are issues in the Western economies, and therefore the sales cycle gets extended, and therefore you don't land as many deals as you hope to within a quarter or so. But I do not see it as being something of a disaster and which will last forever. That's one part on the business side, and there's always uh, where you are in terms of valuations in what is built into a stock price, whether we are talking economies or sectors. I always say that there's no one-to-one correlation, that you can't wait that for things to really improve and then buy something, because by that time the time is past usually. So that is something one has to look at. So if you look at for instance, last year if you looked at Europe, and we actually made that mistake, that we were sitting at beginning of October and we said like, now the news from Europe is all going to be very, very bad. So definitely that's not one place where we want to be overweight. But then both the last quarter of last year and the first quarter of this year, Europe has been the standout performer. So both these factors together, I think it's a bit overdone for sure for IT.
But Devina, has the time come to buy IT just yet? That's the other question, right?
I would say that it is somewhere in the range. I mean, we're still evaluating with our systems, but my first reaction would be that it is definitely in the range.
Devina, but I look through IT and I say, okay, the sector will have a relevance. 2 years, 3 years out, it will have a relevance. But I may get growth between 8 to 12%, 8% on a bad year, 12 to 13% on a good year. So for an investor, where is the upside?
I mean, how many businesses do you have where you have something of a predictability in the first place, and also a dollar, I mean, rupee dollar hedge? So that's the other part which IT provides, and so that's the other question, that where does that show up? And as I said, this is a really a bad year for their buyers. But this is as a sector, again, if you look globally, the move is towards more and more digitization. In fact, if you go back a year, last year beginning, the issue in IT was that there was too much demand for people. So there was margin pressure from the cost side, because the whole world, whether they were a technology company or not, had to and was moving to technology, which is why there was demand for that many people, along with the startup ecosystem. So that last year we were talking of a different problem altogether, that the whole world wants to go tech, and therefore will they get enough good people? And now we are saying that the demand will not be that great. Tech is not a mature business in that sense that you will not see growth. Again, we are talking at a trough of a cycle in terms of the economies which they cater to. So I don't think that's the thing, that demand is going to dry up for IT.